Ongoing developments in West Africa are deeply troubling. Military coups in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, and Niger threaten the democratic progress we have worked so hard to achieve within the ECOWAS community. These coups are stark reminders that democracy is indeed fragile and must be continually nurtured.
Yeah, so that is the president of Ghana. I'm sure you might have watched the video already because we reacted to it 2 days ago when he's talking about democracy, how democracy is fragile in West Africa, how military coup d'etats are taking place or took place in some part of the Sahel, which is beautiful, which we, the citizens of the Sahel, we are in full support of. Because as the president of Ghana was in the United Nations, speaking all this big grammar, talking about democracy, how his country, how he's proud to save his country, and then in his country, they make sure that nobody is being left behind. The cake of his country, they try to make sure that it go a long way to benefit all the citizens. I want to show you this video as to what democracy, after more than 30 years since Ghana started democracy in 1992. I want to show you this beautiful video, and then you see how proud democracy had made Ghanaians. Watch the video. Let's come back. It's beautiful. Watch it. Let's come back and analyze it.
Yo, killer, a change this out. Debbie, and that form. The pardon of Massa, while the Gologo, I'm going in a too. In election time. I'm going to Dubai, UAE no mobile. I'm 1,002 and Sikana will form over some come back to Ghana. Share? I'm more rushing. I'm minding my idea more rushing some you should but don't win. Obey construction because I in the part of the construction of my direct employment or whatever. We have 800 grams. Would you 1,000 to 1,000 plus 1,500? No one, the OCs can so I want to go back to Ghana. I'm more Ghana go down. Why is she? But the funny part is you go for 90%. A university graduates, Umaru University, at the Bay Construction or UAE. Things be easy. On my not say Ghana independence, now UAE and desert, and so show mine. Fact is fact. We be university, at the Bay Construction or UAE. Chale, any these are change. This is very sad. And why is that? Open your eyes, I will be done fool. You be sure that's an
Yes, so that is young, energetic Ghanaians. You know, where are they going to? Dubai. Is Dubai practicing democracy? So before you come telling us that we must put everything aside and just practice democracy, you must first of all tell us what has democracy provide for us as children of Africa. Because if democracy was that good and if democracy has the answer to all our questions that we are asking, which this generation of Africans are asking today, we will not see young men and women of Africa running to Dubai, or Ghana running to Dubai. Dubai doesn't practice democracy, yet your so-called democratic country citizens, young men and women, cannot live, democracy cannot give them a life of dignity. They are running to Dubai. That does not practice democracy. You talk about democracy and how the Sahel, I can guarantee you that 5 years from now, with the kind of work that is happening, going on in the Sahel, in Burkina Faso, in Mali and Niger, 5 years from now, you will not, your country's citizens will be running to those countries. I can assure you that, Mr. President of Ghana, and the rest of you who are practicing democracy. As we speak today, there is a popular term called Japa in Nigeria, where young men and women think that, or have no choice after finishing universities, have no choice than to run away from the country because the country cannot provide them decent, dignified life. So you have to, after you finish education, your education, you have to run away from your country before you can live a life of dignity. What is happening to us under this so-called, and then you don't see this, all that you guys will come out, you will come out and be talking to us about democracy. The other day, the president of Kenya was talking about like what is happening to us as African people. The other day, the president of Kenya was talking about how he has sent more than 2,000 or whatever, or he signed a contract to send more than 2,000 or whatever Kenyans, young Kenyans, to go to Germany. Is that the reason why we are putting you people in office?
And this agreement will unlock 250,000 job opportunities for young people from Kenya. That is a bilateral agreement between Germany and Kenya. It is a win-win. You know, there is a big labor deficit in Germany. There is a big labor oversupply in Kenya. How do you benefit Kenya? By giving them the opportunities in here. And how do you remove the deficit here? By leveraging Kenya.
We want us to be celebrating this because of democracy. We are tired of celebrating mediocratic leadership. We don't want that. We want you to also be leaders like those in Germany, also provide jobs and leave surplus for other people to come in. We want you to also provide us job like leaders in Dubai 60 years ago. Where were Dubai? But today, young Africans have to run to Dubai, who does not practice democracy, just to live a life of dignity. And in reality, we don't even get that life of dignity. What is the difference between us today and that of our ancestors who were forcefully taken out of Africa? If we today can still line up like this, look at them. You just look at the video again. If we today can still line up like this just to be counted and be taken to Dubai, what is the difference between us today and that of our ancestors who were forcefully taken out of Africa? The only difference between us and our ancestors is that our ancestors are better than us because they were forcefully taken out of Africa. Today, we are willingly going to become slaves in other people's countries. But yet, we must practice democracy. That is better. Even if we don't have a life of dignity, even if we are sleeping in ghettos, even if we don't have clean water to drink, democracy is okay. And this is the reason why we are saying, African leaders, let us rethink. China does not practice democracy. The population of China is just like Africa. But they are today a force to be reckoned. We can also do that. We are not saying democracy is not good. But if the Western colonial criminals themselves are not practicing democracy, and yet they are giving us this animal called democracy, and we are not getting any result from that, then we must rethink. If it is good for us, let's take it. But if it is not, as it is not today, or as we cannot see it today, then we should stop condemning the Sahel. The reason why we are not happy with all this so-called democratic stuff is because they try to use that to discredit our leaders, our patriotic leaders in the Sahel. And then we will not stop, we will not sit down and allow you to do that. No, we will not allow the Western colonial criminals to dictate to us as to who should lead us. We want and then we prefer what those in the Sahel are doing. And I can assure you, Mr. President of Ghana, 5 years from now, I'm repeating, 5 years from now, your country's citizens will be crossing to those countries to look for dignified jobs. Because what they have started, what they are doing, just within the space of 3-4 years, you have stayed in office. You have stayed in office for 8 years now, and Ghana has been practicing democracy for how many years? Since 1992, for more than 30 years now, and yet you are not able to provide. As we speak today, Ghana doesn't have its own national airline. As we speak today, Burkina Faso is trying to regain back or retake back their national airline. This is the kind of leadership we want. Not leadership that will go out there and be speaking big grammar, but in reality, back in your respective countries, situations are different. Let's watch another disturbing video from Ghana and then come back and conclude this our talk.
14 young men from Ghana embarked on a journey they believed would change their lives forever. Lured by promises of secure, well-paying jobs in Russia, these men left their families behind with hopes of building a better future. But what was meant to be a life-changing opportunity turned out to be their worst nightmare.
We are in an uncompleted building, and then this is one of the buildings they destroyed.
Okay.
Let me show you around. Match will go on, man. Check inside. Check one man. Check inside.
It all began on Sunday, August 4, 2024, when the men said their goodbyes and boarded a plane filled with dreams of success and providing for their loved ones. They arrived in Russia on August 6 through Togo. Their hearts were filled with anticipation, but from the moment they touched down, things took a chilling turn. Upon arrival, they were whisked off to Kostroma, a city in western Russia, to sign what they thought would be employment contracts. Instead, they found themselves faced with a grim reality.
Yes, these are Ghanaians. These are Ghanaians, young Ghanaians, desperately under this condition of Russia fighting NATO, Russia and NATO war. You still have Africans, young Africans who are willing to go to Russia. With everything that we all know that is happening in Russia. And what kind of desperation is that? But can we blame our leaders today? No, we are not blame, because if these young guys who are desperately running away from their respective countries, if you ask them to come out so that we can all bring our energies together to fight for our resources to go a long way to benefit us as children of Africa, these people will start to question you. They'll start want to know your tribe. They'll start want to know your religion. They'll start want to know the political party that you belong to. But when we are going to Russia to go and fight, we don't ask questions as to what party are we going to join in Russia. When we are running away when we are japping from Nigeria, when we are running away from Ghana to go to Dubai, as this video is showing us, we do not ask as to which political party we are going to be working for in Dubai. But when it comes to our respective country, when it comes to Nigeria, that I'm calling on you to come out so that we can demand a dignified life, you're going to tell me I am doing that because I'm against the current president. If I ask you to come out so that we can stand up and demand that we deserve a dignified life, so our leadership in Ghana should provide us that, you start to question me, what political party do I belong to? So I don't blame our leaders. I blame the youth who are allowing these so-called leaders to continue to divide us based on religion, politics, tribes, so that them and their children will continue to enjoy the resources of our country and their colonial criminals masters. Look, a Nigerian finished university, go to Ukraine and end up joining the Ukrainian army, and he's proud to be fighting for Ukraine. But if it was to be in Nigeria, he wouldn't want to join the army. Because are we doing this to ourselves as African people? When are we going to stop sharing our blood for no reason? The other day, a young graduate from Zambia was unalive, was forced to join the Russian military, and he ended up being unalive. He went there as to study and return as a corpse. Why? Why Africans? When are we going to stop this? In the First and Second World War, our ancestors went out there and then fought for these people. What did we gain out of it? Why must we continue to be sacrificing ourselves for the good of other people? As I said, all the young men and women who are running away to Dubai, who are on the Mediterranean Sea, perishing. If you ask them, stand up and let us come together as young men and women of Africa. Let us demand our dignity. They'll tell you, they'll start to question. I see our people, our young men and women going through some difficulties. It is hard, but I don't blame our political leaders anymore, because these young men and women, call them to come out so that we will all fight for our dignity. They will tell you that they cannot join you because of your tribe. They cannot join you because they think you belong to a political party. I am not into politics. I speak about political issues, but I don't belong to no political party. The political party I want to belong to is the political party for Africa, Africa Unity Party. The day that the continent of Africa will be united, that is the day that I will stop. We have no right to leave the same Africa that we inherited from our ancestors to the next generation of Africans. We have no right, because me and you, we are not proud of this Africa. Can you imagine young Africans running to Dubai? As we speak now, Lebanon, Kenyans, Africans are stranded there with the bombings going on there. As if like we don't care. The life of the African doesn't matter to nobody. Why would the life of the African would be matter to somebody if we ourselves does not value ourselves? Young Africans, let us stand up. It is our duty to demand for our dignity. Enough should be enough for us. And when that enough is going to be enough for us, haven't we suffered enough as African people? Why? And why? I thank you very much for coming around. Please, if you appreciate what we are doing, then don't hesitate to support us. Other people say they will not support us because for them, we are not, we are fighting against their colonial criminal masters. But for you, me and you, you know the cause of our fight, worth it. So support us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share it. Let us all together fight for a united, dignified Africa. Not just for us, but for the next generation of Africans. Thank you.